This is the elder Nathaniel using an AI voice generator to teach you the way of Christ. These lessons may be spiritual, metaphysics, mystic, esoteric wisdom or exoteric teachings. These lessons are not to harm any but to open our eyes to the Anointed One. An AI voice generator is software that uses artificial intelligence, specifically deep learning and neural networks, to convert written text into realistic, human-like speech. The Heaven and the Earth. By the elder Nathaniel. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. Here's a symbolic, spiritual reading, not biology, not pagan replacement theology, but a wisdom metaphor used across scripture, ancient cultures, and spiritual psychology. Heaven as Father. Heaven represents origin, intention, and ordering intelligence. Source of life. Every good and perfect gift is from above, James 1:17. Word/seed. Heaven sends rain, breath, spirit, command. Law, pattern, meaning your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. In this frame, Father does not mean male body, it means initiator, speaker, sender. Heaven gives the seed, the word, the breath. Earth as Mother. Earth represents reception, formation, and embodiment. Womb of life. Humans are formed from dust, Genesis 2:7. Nurturer. Soil receives seed and multiplies it. Patience and process. Growth takes time, seasons, cycles. Mother here does not mean goddess, it means receiver, carrier, former. Earth receives the seed and makes it flesh. Living beings as children. All living things exist at the meeting point of heaven and earth. Breath from above and body from below. Spirit and matter. Meaning and form. This is why scripture says, all creation groans, Romans 8:22. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, Psalm 24:1. Humanity is both dust and image bearer. Children are dependent, growing, learning to reflect their source. Why this matters spiritually. This frame heals several distortions. 1. It dismantles domination theology. Humans are not tyrants over creation, we are siblings within it. 2. It restores embodiment. Spirituality is not escape from earth but faithfulness within it. 3. It reframes sin. Sin is forgetting our place in the family, acting as owners instead of children. 4. It explains Christ. Christ is the perfect union. Fully from heaven, Word. Fully from earth, flesh. The true Son who restores the family bond. A simple summary. Heaven gives meaning, breath, word Father. Earth receives, forms, nourishes Mother. All life, born from their union children. Not myth in the childish sense, myth in the sacred sense. A story that tells the truth of reality in a way logic alone cannot. 1. Jesus as the perfect union, heaven-earth marriage. In this framework, Jesus Christ is not just a moral teacher or sacrificial figure, he is the living reconciliation of Father Heaven and Mother Earth. The Word became flesh, John 1:14. Word heaven, intent, meaning, seed. Flesh earth, matter, history, body. Jesus does not escape earth, he indwells it. He walks soil, eats food, bleeds, sleeps, breathes. He is what happens when heaven and earth fully agree in one human life. That's why he calms storms, authority from heaven, compassion for earth. He heals bodies, spirit restoring matter. He forgives sins, heaven's mercy enacted on earth. The cross itself forms a symbol. Vertical beam heaven to earth. Horizontal beam humanity to humanity. The crucifixion is not heaven rejecting earth. It is earth receiving heaven even in suffering. 2. Born from above, rebirth without earth rejection. When Jesus tells Nicodemus, you must be born from above, John 3, he is not saying, escape your body, despise the world, flee creation. He is saying, Let heaven reseed your humanity. Rebirth works the same way creation always has. Seed from heaven. Soil of earth. Time, darkness, pressure. Then new life. You are not reborn instead of being human. You are reborn into true humanity. This preserves. Psychology, integration, not dissociation. Spiritual formation, growth, not instant perfection. Embodiment, your body matters. Grace does not cancel nature, it heals it. 3. African, Hebrew, and early Christian cosmology, shared wisdom. African worldviews. Many African traditions understood reality as family structured. Sky source / ancestor / ordering principle. Earth womb / nourisher / continuity. Humans children with responsibility, not ownership. Land was sacred not because it was a god, but because it was mother of life. Hebrew thought. The Bible begins with heaven and earth as paired realms, Genesis 1:1. Adam formed from Adamah, soil. Breath from God animating dust. Israel's sin was often described as forgetting who birthed you, Deuteronomy 32:18. The prophets speak of heaven and earth as witnesses, not deities. Relational, moral, covenantal. Early Christianity. Before later fear-based theology. Salvation equals restoration of creation. Resurrection equals matter healed, not abandoned. New heaven and new earth, not heaven replacing earth. The earliest Christians believed redemption was cosmic and embodied. 4. Protection against eco-spiritual idolatry, this is crucial. This framework does not turn earth into a goddess. Here's the safeguard. What idolatry does. Worships creation instead of the source. Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. I'll break it into 4 movements, then anchor each one with other scriptures. 1. When they knew God. This does not mean saving faith yet. It means awareness. Scripture teaches that knowledge of God is built into creation and conscience. Romans 1:19-20 God has made himself known through creation. Psalm 19:1 The heavens declare the glory of God. John 1:9 Christ is the light that enlightens every person. Meaning. They knew God existed, sensed his power, order, and moral authority but did not submit to him. 2. They glorified him not as God. To glorify God is to recognize his rightful place. Proverbs 3:6 In all thy ways acknowledge him. Isaiah 42:8 God does not share his glory with substitutes. John 5:23 Honoring God is inseparable from honoring his authority. Meaning. They recentered life around themselves, culture, or ideas instead of God. This is the root of idolatry, even if no statue or pictures is involved. 3. Neither were thankful. In Scripture, thankfulness is spiritual alignment. Deuteronomy 8:10-14 Ingratitude leads to forgetting God. Colossians 2:7 Faith grows through thanksgiving. 1 Thessalonians 5:18 Gratitude keeps us in God's will. Meaning. Unthankfulness is not just bad manners, it's spiritual rebellion. It says, I deserve this. I am the source. 4. Became vain in their imaginations. Vain means empty, hollow, futile. Imaginations means reasonings, inner narratives. Jeremiah 2:5 Walking after vanity makes us vain. 2 Corinthians 10:5 Imaginations can oppose the knowledge of God. Ephesians 4:17-18 Futile thinking leads to darkened understanding. Meaning. When God is removed, the mind doesn't become neutral, it becomes self-referential and distorted. 5. Their foolish heart was darkened. In Scripture, the heart is the center of perception, not emotion alone. Proverbs 4:23 The heart directs life. Matthew 6:22-23 Darkness begins internally. Ephesians 1:18 The heart needs illumination. Meaning. This is not lack of intelligence. It is moral and spiritual blindness, the inability to see truth clearly. The flow of the passage, very important. Notice the order Paul gives, especially in the book of Romans. 1. Knowledge of God. 2. Refusal to honor Him. 3. Loss of gratitude. 4. Corrupted thinking. 5. Darkened inner life. Sin begins in orientation, not behavior. Orientation refers to a person's basic attitudes or beliefs. One sentence summary. When people recognize God but refuse to honor and thank Him, their inner reasoning becomes empty, and their spiritual perception grows dark, leading to distorted life and worship. Worshipping the flesh of man, even the fleshly image of Jesus rather than God Himself. The Bible actually warns about this directly, even while affirming the incarnation. 1. Jesus truly came in the flesh. This matters. Scripture is clear that denying the incarnation is error. John 1:14 The Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. 1 John 4:2 Whoever denies Christ came in the flesh is not of God. Hebrews 2:14 He partook of flesh to redeem humanity. So the flesh of Jesus was real, holy, and necessary for salvation. But that is not the same as worshipping flesh itself or a physical image. 2. Scripture forbids worship of any image. This includes images meant to represent God. You may teach from them but not worship them. Exodus 20:4-5 No graven image of anything for worship. Deuteronomy 4:15-16 You saw no form, therefore do not make an image. Isaiah 42:8 God does not give His glory to images. This command does not disappear in the New Testament. 3. Jesus Himself redirects worship away from the physical. Even while in a human body, Jesus did not invite flesh-centered worship. John 4:23-24 God is spirit, and those who worship Him must worship in spirit and truth. Matthew 12:48-50 True relationship is not biological or physical. John 6:63 The flesh profits nothing, the words I speak are spirit and life. Jesus constantly points beyond His physical appearance to the Father. 4. Knowing Christ after the flesh is warned against. This is exactly your concern, and Paul names it. 2 Corinthians 5:16 Though we have known Christ after the flesh, yet now henceforth know we Him no more. Meaning. Christ is no longer known by earthly form, ethnicity, portrait, or physical likeness. 5. Images of Jesus risk replacing obedience with optics. Scripture shows how easily symbols replace substance. Romans 1:23 Exchanging the glory of God for an image of a man. Colossians 2:18-23 Appearance of devotion without true transformation. Matthew 15:8 Honoring with lips while the heart is far away. An image can become a mental idol, even if intentions seem good. 6. What is biblical worship of Jesus? Not staring at His face but living His life. John 14:9 Seeing Jesus equals seeing the Father, character, not portrait. Philippians 2:5 Have the mind of Christ. Galatians 2:20 Christ lives in us, not on walls. Colossians 1:27 Christ in you, the hope of glory. The biblical balance, very important. Affirm the incarnation. Reject worship of flesh, race, art, or imagery. Worship God through Christ. Do not reduce Christ to a visual object. One clear summary. Jesus came in real flesh to redeem humanity, but worship is never directed toward flesh, images, or physical likeness, only toward God in spirit and truth, revealed through Christ. Absolutizes nature. Removes moral accountability. What this model does. Honors earth as gift, not God. Honors heaven as source, not abstraction. Keeps God transcendent and intimate. Earth is mother, not deity. Heaven is father, not distant tyrant. God is the one who gives both their meaning. This balance prevents nature worship, prevents earth hatred, prevents spiritual abuse, prevents colonial domination theology. It also explains why harming creation is family violence, not just environmental issues. The unified vision, all four together. Jesus is the healed union of heaven and earth. Rebirth is heaven reseeding earthbound humanity. Ancient wisdom knew creation as relational, not mechanical. True theology honors earth without worshipping it. We are not trapped between heaven and earth. We are born from their cooperation.